deceived, but the woman in the transgression was deceived. That's what the scriptures say. But
and Adam was not deceived, but the woman being deceived was in the transgression. Notwithstanding, she shall be saved in childbearing.
Right, the scriptures say that a woman shall be saved in childbearing. So that's how a woman's going to be saved. In childbearing, in hell, bearing the children of the men of the Most High. Not because you're getting knocked up by T, the drug dealer down the block. It's talking about bearing the children of the man of the Lord and staying with that man. Not just because you pushed out a couple puppies, that don't mean you got a seat. Because the scriptures say that the woman is supposed to be in sobriety. She's supposed to be sober-minded and sobriety with all subjection. So if she ain't rocking like that, she ain't making it up out of here. The Most High ain't dealing with no fucking independent woman. The only way they gonna make it on the man's ticket.
He knows.
So if she ain't right with you, then she ain't gonna make it up out of here. She'll be just like Lot's wife. Because when with the situation, when you go back in Genesis, you read about Abraham. Abraham asked the Most High, because the Lord was going to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah and the other 3 cities that were a part of that, full of faggots and lesbians and freaks. It was 5 cities, but the 2 chief ones was Sodom and the other one was Gomorrah. And then Abraham asked the Lord, would you not destroy the city if there were 100 righteous men there? The Lord said no. Then Abraham kept saying, if it was 10 righteous men in the city, would you still destroy the city? The Lord said no. Then he said, what if it was just 1 righteous man in that whole city? He didn't say nothing about no righteous woman. He said, if it was 1 righteous man, would you not destroy the city? The Lord said yes. And then because why did Abraham ask him that? Because Abraham's nephew Lot was in the city of Sodom and Gomorrah with his wife and with his 2 daughters. So the Most High postponed the destruction on Sodom and Gomorrah for 1 man, not for his damn wife. So that's another example. And then when they were told to leave the city, the Lord said, don't look back. And who looked back? Lot's wife looked back. That bitch turned to a pillar of salt. And Lot kept it moving. A pillar of salt. Because she was disobedient. Because she was disobedient. That's why the scriptures say, read that again, what you was reading in Timothy's.
It says, for Adam, it says, Adam was not deceived, but the woman being deceived was in the transgression. Notwithstanding, she shall be saved in childbearing.
Well, the scriptures say she shall be saved in childbearing. You know, a lot of these hoes forbid to bear children. They get pregnant, the first thing they doing is going to get an abortion. Or they got the pill after. Or they'll get a shot.
And they got this one thing on CNN. I always watch CNN and different news channels. They had this one Jake dude who was dealing with this black woman. They didn't show the woman, but I knew she was a black woman. And they were both in the military. They met in the military. Then they had a baby together. Then things were shaky and shit. Then they kind of went their separate ways. And the dude was trying to get in touch with his newborn, right? But this black bitch cut off all ties and didn't tell him what was going on. You know what she wound up doing? Getting the baby adopted to an Edomite family. So then the dude found out after the fact, maybe like 2 years later, so he's trying to get the baby back. But this particular court, they're trying to say, nah, you gave up your rights. You know? So now it's a court thing, and then they interviewed this guy, and they said, well, look, you didn't show no love for your baby. She said, I didn't know where my baby was. My woman just disappeared. She moved. I didn't know where she was.
That's the black woman.
And that's that black woman.
They do that shit, man. She'll be living down south. She'll be living down south. She'll be married to a dude down south. She'll up and leave and come and move to New Haven. Or she'll move out to goddamn Arizona. And the man don't even know where his kids is at. And she still stay married to him though. Because let's say he has property or he hits the lotto, he come into some money, that bitch gonna jump on a plane from fucking Arizona and come back down south and claim his shit and take off and fucking leave with it. That's that fucking black woman, man.
And my so-called son-in-law, He got 2 kids by this one bitch, and she's so conniving and evil, man, that she moved way down south, and she had 2 more kids by his friend, and everybody knows that he wasn't popping that woman, and basically he found out he got 4 more kids, 2 more kids he got to deal with, which everybody knows he wasn't. Everybody and their mother knows that he wasn't dealing with that woman. He had forgot about that woman. So she knew goddamn well that those 2 kids, additional kids, wasn't her kids because his friend was popping the fucking woman, man. And his friend was living with the kids, and he said that's all right because he's with my so-called daughter-in-law, man. So she done played this system and said those are his kids, man. And these black, like I said, get with a fucking white woman, man, or get with one of them Latin fucking tribes, man. Don't marry a white woman because it's against the law, man. Make sure you get you a white woman. And I'm saying that because you know what? You get with a black woman, you're going to wind up locked up, man. Or shot up. The black woman's no fucking good, man. And we say that every week, man. We say that every goddamn week. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah. Hey, that's a lesson right there, man. Hey, that's that motherfucking nigga woman, man. Like my uncle. My mother's oldest brother. He married this black ass woman. You know, they had 4 kids or whatever. They this is going back to like the 70s. You know, everything was cool. My uncle was working, good job. He had just bought a brand new station wagon. My mom was telling me about it because I was too young to remember. And then he let a friend of his clean the station wagon. Nigga crashed the shit. Lost his station wagon. My aunt, she fucking emptied out my uncle's bank account, took off and went to Virginia with another nigga, man. Right? And she stayed married to my uncle. Right? So then, like, within the last, I say, 5 years ago, her mother and them are calling up north, calling up here from Virginia, because that's where she went, calling my uncle, asking him to come down here and take care of his wife, because she got diabetes real bad, and they cut one of her fucking legs off. And my uncle said, fuck that bitch. Just like that. He said, I ain't motherfucking going down south to take care of a motherfucker. Fuck her. And that's just these fucking black ass women.
Black woman is evil, man.
That's these fucking black ass women, man.
She's worse than Esau, man. And that's even hard to say. She's worse than fucking Esau, man. All right? Say again?
My fault. It's just something with my house, man. My father's wife. She talks bad about me, and to the point where it gets my father roused up to come at me. So my father's at the brink of kicking me out of the house, man.
Hey, well, how old are you, brother?
18.
Well, you might have to look. You got a job?
I work with my father.
Hey, well, you know what? Your father's going to take to the woman because what she got in between her legs. You know how it is, man. A man is weak to the. Hey, that's why Adam went off with Eve, man. And then Adam turned around and blamed it on the woman. You know? Hey, somebody give me Proverbs, and that's the spirit getting on the black woman, man. Because she needs to be got on. Proverbs 30 and 20. Proverbs 30 and 20. Go ahead, Ak.
This is Proverbs 30 and 20. It says, such is the way of an adulterous woman. She eateth and wipeth her mouth and saith, I have done no wickedness.
Yeah, they'll do all kind of wickedness, man. They'll deal with you and not deal with your ass for 2 years. You might have had a good relationship 2 years ago. You done moved to California. You ain't seen her in 2 years. She's back on the East Coast, or vice versa. She gets pregnant from another nigga, and the other nigga leaves her, and guess what? A couple years later, you find out that you had a baby, and you ain't popped this woman in 2 years. And she'll go before the judge and look the judge straight in the eye, and the judge, he's a goddamn liar and a damn devil, and he'll look her straight in the eye, and they'll both lie to each other, man, to set your ass up. Then you got to go back and forth to prove that you're not the you're not the father.
But until then, they're gonna be hitting up your paycheck because she said that it was yours. Hey, like the saying goes, it's mama's baby and daddy's maybe. And you best believe that shit. Any of these fucking hoes tell you that she pregnant by you, get a fucking paternity test right from the door. Don't trust a fucking thing any of these bitches got to say. I don't give a fuck if it's the white woman, black woman, Puerto Rican woman.
Oh, they're all
Japanese.
Wicked. They're all wicked.
All a
The
bunch
purpose of a
fucking
woman
hoes,
is for your sexual desires, man. That's the only reason why you deal with a woman, and to have children, to procreate. That's the reason. Other than that, in the ancient world, David had many wives, man. He didn't go and spend quality time with his wives. He popped the woman and went and did what he had to do and got with another woman and popped her. And then he went out to battle. He would capture some women, bring them back to his
concubines.
He would pop them. Then he would go get some other woman. Then he'd go out to war. And the woman had to remain faithful, man. His wife from the first king of Israel, King Saul, her name was Micah. She laughed at David. She snickled at David, man. Because when the Ark of the Covenant came into Bethlehem, he danced before the Lord. And his trousers dropped. And then this fucking nigga embarrassing himself. And then he found out about it, and he said, look, I was dancing for the Lord. But because you laughed at me and snickled, guess what? I'm going to cut you off. You ain't going to have no kids, and you ain't going to have no man. Now, if she was to deal with another man, guess what would have happened to that man and her? They would have both been put to death. And everybody knew that King David was a man of war. He was a warrior. He was one of the greatest warriors, if not the greatest warriors that ever lived, man. Right. King David used to fight. Matter of fact, give me that in the Apocrypha. I believe that's Ecclesiasticus 47, or around about there. It's right in the beginning. It said he played with lions and he played with bears, man. Yep. You got it up?
Yep.
Go ahead, bring it on out.
You want me to start at 1?
Start at 1.
This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 47 and 1. And after him rose up Nathan to prophesy in the time of David.
Right. Prior to King David, King Saul was the first king. Who was the prophet during the time of King Saul? Samuel. Good, brother, good. Y'all all said it. That's good. That shows you that these brothers are studying, man. Because you got to know this Bible. You can't just know the scriptures on the white man being the devil. You got to know the history. You got to understand that history, man. Somebody throw a character at you. Like I'm going to throw a character. Who's Felix in the Bible? Can anybody tell me who Felix is? Well, you both right. And what did he do? What was he known as in the scriptures? It's in the book of Acts. We were just going through it. He was the one that Paul came to him because they had arrested Paul. Because they had made a pact. There was 40 Israelites that made a pact that they wouldn't eat or drink until they wouldn't eat nothing until they put Paul to death. And then he used the fact that he was a Roman citizen. So he had this Roman, two centurions gathered a whole army, and then they broke down. The army had, I think it had like 60 horsemen. It had 200 spearmen. So these two Roman centurions put this army together to protect Paul, to bring Paul to Felix. And then when he went to Felix, he had went before Agrippa, all right? And he spoke so eloquently to Agrippa, one of the Herods, that he said, "Thou almost madest me a Christian, man." So you got to know that history, man. And when we do these shows coming down in the car, man, it brings back memories and it keeps your mind fresh. You got to know, we all supposed to be scholars in this book, man. Because these devils, you got devils that are bookworms. All they do is study the scriptures, read books, and they got them the illuminated ones that pay for everything. They don't got to do nothing, man. They ain't even into women, man. They just into studying, researching. They'll say, "Look, I want to go to Babylon. I want to dig this up," and they'll give them the money. He'll hop on the train with the top archaeologists. They'll dig this up and dig that up just to confirm what's in that book. You know? Go ahead. What I say? Go.
Sirach 47 and 1. And after him rose up Nathan to prophesy in the time of David, as is the fat taken away from the peace offering, so was David chosen out of the children of Israel.
So was David chosen out of the children of Israel. Go ahead.
He played with lions as with kids, and with bears as with lambs.
Did you hear that?
Look at
You can go to a petting zoo and see a little lamb and pet the lamb and push